80% of the Baltic's customers are preferring parcel locker delivery. And then there are countries like US that are ignoring parcel lockers totally.
But you were pretty ahead of the curve if you were starting to do this sort of 15, 16 years ago.
Out of home was perceived as like a side hustle.
People are now waking up. This is a pretty serious side of last mile delivery now.
It is not feasible anymore to do business, unfortunately, with people. Test is over.
This is
a business.
Yeah.
This is business now. If one of them makes their move, then all others will follow.
Welcome to Let's Be Honest About Logistics podcast. I'm Nicky Jones, the CEO of Vidu Group, and I'm joined here today with Andre V, who is the CEO for Parcel Locker Central over in Estonia. So thank you for joining us, Andre.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Nicky.
You're very welcome.
I'm really honored to have being here.
Oh, bless you. I'm honoured that you flew over, so thank you.
I did.
Shall we start with telling the audience a little bit about your background, your journey?
My journey, I have several journeys, let's say. I have journeys, 10 years in advertising business, 10 years in media publishing business, and now 10, 15 years in logistics and last mile. So, and this is my real passion now.
Yes.
And by the way, it's interesting thing that this is what I'm doing right now is I can combine all my previous experiences both in advertising and in media publishing and in last mile. So that's why I'm really blessed.
Oh, and shall we tell the audience a little bit about what you're doing most recent? Because I think that's why you were keen to come on, wasn't it? To talk about lockers, last mile, what you're doing within Parcel Locker Central as a business. So when did you set that business up?
I think it was already 4 years ago. It was immediately after I resigned from Omniva.
Okay.
Omniva is the national carrier of Estonia, but we are active in Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, and maybe one difference from other national carriers is that Omniva has been building parcel locker networks already since 2010. So it's 16 years and gained the dominant position in the market. But this is not the whole story. The bigger story is that 80% of the Baltic's customers are preferring parcel locker delivery.
Right.
So this is sort of, and we are competing with local and Poland and the Czech Republic with the highest adoption of lockers.
But you were pretty ahead of the curve if you were starting to do this sort of 15, 16 years ago. Because
it was, and it started together with InPost actually, what is one of the leading companies, because we were using InPost lockers. We installed InPost lockers, and by the way, some of them are working until today. So this is 16 years, and the lockers are still up and running.
Amazing. So what made you set up Parcel Locker Central?
When I left Omniva, I still had a real passion in lockers, and I thought that I've mastered the business. I know how to do that, and then I thought that I'm going to Europe and worldwide and will teach everybody how to do that. And for my biggest surprise, it wasn't so easy at all, because one thing is that you don't think about that countries and markets can be so different. This is my first learning from being in international last mile, is that how different those countries are. We have 40 plus European countries and everybody is different. There are different customer habits. There are different payments methods. There are different logistics systems, retailers, whether cross-border. This is so different. So there is no playbook for out-of-home delivery. No. There is no. If somebody says that I have a manual how to start a parcel locker business, then I don't believe it, because it's so different in every country, and this is actually that fascinates me. You
Yes.
have to learn all the local circumstances. You have to adapt your learnings to
Yeah.
the local environment, and then propose the solution. Because again, this is not when a carrier, for instance, invests into the sorting center.
Yes.
Then he makes a tender, selects the provider.
Yes.
Those guys come over, install it, and that's it.
Yes.
But when you start a parcel locker network, you have to convince retailers, carriers, and at the end of the day,
Consumers, yeah.
to use them. So this is pretty difficult project. You have to find the incentives to all of them,
Yes.
and then balance your offer between them.
Yeah, definitely. And when we sort of touched on it earlier around last mile does have different meanings in different countries. Are you finding that yourself?
No, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. This is so different. There are countries where there is last mile means only home delivery. There's
Yes.
nothing else. This is home delivery. There are countries where people are preferring using grocery stores. For instance, in
Okay.
Sweden,
Small supermarkets.
Swedish grocery store, not IKEA, but ICA,
Okay.
is having more than 40% of the market share of the last mile deliveries, because they have been using the stores as a pudos. They have been attracting customers to get their parcels there
Okay.
and do their shopping also. So there are very different countries, very different markets, and then there are countries like US that are ignoring parcel lockers totally.
Well, I was just going to say, if you look at some parts of the US and you look at some parts of Germany, they're pretty behind the curve, aren't they, when it comes to last mile and out of home? Because it is predominantly, like you said prior, home delivery, isn't it?
It is, and there are several reasons. Again, first of all, they are very big countries, and there are they are having the biggest last mile volumes. So that's why the carrier network has been built up to the maximum,
Yes,
and the
yes.
home delivery has been worked out to the maximum level. So they have mastered it. So that's why they have convinced the market using that one. But let's jump where we are right now in London, in UK.
Yes.
4-5 years ago, there were nothing. There was InPost was trying to do something, but
Yes.
that was it. And somewhere 3 years ago, when Jeep network started coming, then Royal Mail started their own journey. Now every
Yes.
came along, Parcel pending Quadient. Probably right now, UK is the most competed or the most competitive parcel locker or out of home, let's say out of home,
yeah.
market, not only parcel lockers. So it can change quickly.
Yeah.
There are some kind need to spark this development, and
Definitely.
it starts.
Well, I think the UK have adopted and got behind it pretty quickly, which we're not historically that fast at picking up on trends. But with this one, it seems to have been something that the UK have thought, actually, this could be something that sticks. Do you think there's been barriers to entry? Do you think that's why some of the countries aren't adopting the lockers? Do you think they're fearful that they're going to lose the focus that they've got on the home delivery and lose new business? Or do you think they don't understand what that locker and last mile network looks like?
Absolutely, you are absolutely right, because there are companies in different markets with a very strong home delivery client base and volumes, and they want to defend it because, again, going to parcel lockers is very different.
Yes.
Because this is involving high capex investment. That is not the case with home delivery. There you have to manage the fleet.
Yes.
You have this very labor intensive. But and definitely they are fighting, or they are defending this business model
Yes.
as much as possible. But there are two big mega trends that I see, and why I'm so convinced that this is going to be lockers are going to be everywhere. First of all, is labor market,
Right.
because last mile delivery has traditionally been very labor intensive.
Yeah.
Okay, now the technology has been growing and we have been automating the warehouses,
Yes.
and this is, but still,
You still need your drivers.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and when you are looking the demographic situation in different countries, especially developed countries,
Yes.
they are not in favor of labor intensive investments. And the second thing is customer habits, or customer behavior. Let's say before COVID, we had 9 to 5 working model, and this was prevalent everywhere.
Yeah.
But COVID changed it. This kind of hybrid working model came in. It means, and what it means that the people are much more mobile now.
Yes.
They don't know where are they tomorrow. So let's say our life before COVID was much more predictable, and
Primarily
that's
at
why,
home, weren't we?
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why now we are much more mobile. First, this is one thing that it has been changing. And also the technology has been changing in a sense that phones, internet, different kind of IoT devices, you can make different arrangements. You can redirect the parcels from home to parcel locker to parcel locker, from parcel locker to parcel locker. So those are the two mega trends that are changing the industry towards the lockers. When you look other industries, let's take banking.
Yes.
20 years ago, we were visiting bank offices to make a transfer. Now we are doing it ourselves on behalf of the bank.
Aren't they? Yeah.
So there is there was no bank offices almost. They are disappearing everywhere. The last thing, airline check-in, it was done by a clerk. You gave the
manual.
luggage, and it was now you are doing it by yourself. So labor cost, the inflation and labor cost is rising, and it is not feasible anymore to do business. Unfortunately, with people, because again, I'm not against people, but I see how expensive it is, and this expensive labor cost will be translated into the delivery costs, and this is going to be the reason.
And it's not just the wages, it's the expenses, it's the fuel, it's everything is going up in the world, isn't it? It's
absolutely
the PAYE, the benefits they have to pay, the surcharges on things, everything is only going one way, and unfortunately that is up. So do you think this could be the future? Do you think there's going to be more of a shift away from that sort of home delivery to primarily lockers then moving forward? Do you think that will be the new out of home?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm not against home delivery. Home
No,
delivery is very good, but home delivery is a premium service. You mean somebody is driving to your home, gets out of the car, not like a taxi driver. He gets out of the car, comes to your porch, rings the bell, asks nicely, who are you, and do you want to have that parcel? So this is very personal service. But again, we have to acknowledge this is expensive. This is very expensive. So I compare it with the taxi. So home delivery is like a taxi service. You pay premium when you order a taxi, but then the taxi does what you want.
Yes.
If you want to have cheaper option, then you have a public transportation. But again, this is not so convenient. You have to take some steps in order to have that. But it's more cheaper. And why this is cheaper? The main reason why out-of-home deliveries are more effective is consolidation effect. So if we are taking the last mile delivery courier, depends on the area, the density,
Yes.
but whatever. But he can do, let's say, 100, 150 stops maximum per shift or per day. The courier who services lockers can do 1,500 parcels a
Yes.
shift easily, without any problem with that. So this is the consolidation effect that plays for the lockers.
And there will inevitably then be better margins in it for the logistics businesses, won't they? As opposed to, because the prices are going up from a salary perspective, it's going to effectively in turn make those employers earn more money.
There is also another thing that is trending and differently country by country, and this is the agreement who pays for the delivery.
Yes, okay. I was
Because-
going to touch on that. You're
because-
doing my job for me, Andre.
because there are markets where retailers think still that paying for the delivery is their competitive edge, and customers are more favorable to buy
Yes.
from them
Yes.
to pay for the delivery. But there are markets already, especially in Scandinavia, in Baltics, in Central Eastern Europe, where customers are paying for the delivery. So at the checkouts, customer chooses the carrier, the delivery method, and pays accordingly.
Do you think that's because the carriers are now having to fight more for that customer loyalty at checkout? Is that where that's coming from?
This is exactly where the competition
Yeah.
has been landing in out-of-home markets, because having the better position in checkout for carrier, this is
Yes.
a matter of life and death in a sense that
Yes.
if the out-of-home service is mature and the service is good, then usually the price is also
comparable.
leveled
Yes,
somehow.
definitely.
So then there is nothing else than quickly to choose the first option. And but again, this is not only that carriers need to go to install lockers and that's it.
Yes.
This is, in my mind, carriers are switching their sort of business sector, because when they are serving retailers, when retailer is paying for the delivery,
Yes,
then this is a business to business sort of setup.
for sure.
Yeah, there are customers who will get who will receive the parcel,
Yes.
but they are usually not involved. When now there is a situation that there is a locker delivery and customer are paying
Yes.
for the delivery sort of to the carrier, then this is already business to consumer B2C
Definitely.
business, and you have to start working out your brand. You have to start building the brand, because so far in home delivery markets, when the customers is not involved in decision making, the brand is not sort of relevant. It's important, but it's not critical.
And I think with the dynamics changing now around lockers, around out of home, with what we were discussing around FedEx and the InPost acquisition, people are now waking up to say, hang on a minute, these two-size businesses are coming together. What's going on? What are we missing? It's showing that this isn't just something that's going away. This is a pretty serious side of last mile delivery now.
This is probably the biggest shift during last 3-4 years. I've experienced this FedEx InPost deal that is not official yet, but
No.
still we are very, very close to that. Before that, this is my personal feeling that out of home was perceived, and especially lockers were perceived as like a side hustle, or like a let's try it.
Yes.
Let's try it.
Give it a go.
Maybe there is something. But this deal, where the biggest carrier in the world invests in the Polish, no, I wouldn't say it's startup, but still quite a young company specialized in lockers, was a sign that this is not anymore test period. The test
Yeah.
is over.
This is
a
serious.
business.
Yeah.
This is business now, and I feel that the industry has sort of waking up to that. I feel that companies are taking it more seriously.
Yes.
Companies are considering the option that this might be the future. So
And have you noticed your conversations are changing with your customers and partners now since that announcement came out?
not with the existing one, but the potential ones who are considering this is definitely the different, totally different
Okay.
tone and totally different sort of engagement level from their side. They are now
so
active.
they've woken up now and
They are
thought,
now
actually,
active,
yeah, we need to look at this properly.
Yeah, I think that they are right in a sense that they have to take it seriously because again, this is not unlimited resource.
No.
Like also when you think the home delivery, no, you can hire another 100 couriers, another 1,000 couriers.
Yes.
But there is still the congestion on the street. The curb is limited, and this is not limitless.
No.
But also the out of home is limited with the locations. So being first or being among the first,
Yes.
reserving the prime
land,
locations and teaching customers to use those locations, this might be not a competitive edge for the year or two, but for the next
Yes.
15 years. So this is probably the biggest competition beside the checkout, the
Yes.
competition or run for the locations is the second biggest topic.
Yes.
And again, this is also bringing us to another industry, closer to another industry. And one of my theses is that parcel locker delivery or parcel locker business is going to emerge in a longer run with the real estate
Yes.
business, because this is about location. This is not about logistics.
Well, they
in a
need
sense that
partnerships now with them, don't they?
exactly. So this is sort of in the intersection of different businesses. So you have to traditional carrier who has been so far managing their fleet and sorting, they have to learn also new tricks like location management,
Yes.
partnership management, customer behavior change. Because if you don't change customer behavior, you can't be successful with parcel lockers.
No, definitely not. And I think what you touched on earlier was quite interesting around, there's a lot of noise around the checkout experience, whether it's the post-checkout or pre-checkout. So do you think that is because the dynamics have changed around lockers? Do you think that's why people or carriers are thinking they've got to offer something else to keep these customers using the actual home delivery?
But I wouldn't say that there are only lockers that are changing that, because if you think there are bike delivery,
Yes.
there are fast delivery, same day delivery,
Yes, true.
different drone deliveries, robotics. The number of different delivery options is growing dramatically.
Yes.
There are startups are popping up here and there with new ideas how to
Yes.
deliver quicker and cheaper. But it has to be somehow presented in the checkout, and
Yes.
and I think that this is not lockers. Maybe lockers are the biggest addition to that, but still, how to manage the number of different deliveries, how to provide services for the clients, because again, this is an interesting thing. Customers are not the same, and even the parcels are not the same. There are one customer can have totally different anticipation to delivery with one parcel. Let's say I bought a new iPhone, I
Yes.
want to get it immediately. But when I bought in very favorable prices gift for my Christmas gift today
yes.
for my kids, it can wait 3
3 or 4
months
months,
easily. So every parcel, every delivery is different, and you somehow have to give access to that.
Yes.
So this is probably the biggest change, that some retailers who are still deciding on behalf of the customers,
Yes.
they have to change it now. They not, and this is not only lockers again.
No.
This is the big number of different deliveries, and I'm not even bringing the agentic AI to the table,
No.
because this is the next level discussion. Let's avoid it today.
Well, I think there's, you know, as you say, there are trends. There are countries that are behind the curve from a locker and a last mile perspective that are now waking up since what's, you know, been breaking in the industry of late. What do you think, knowing all this information that you know now and being at the start of this whole sort of last mile and locker ways of working, really, because you were there a little bit before quite a few of these other businesses and you saw the future could be this. What does that then mean for your business over the next sort of 12, 18, 24 months? Are you looking at new sort of advancements to your company? Are you looking at new areas of tech, you know, coming into new countries?
There are very, very different paths, and again, there are very different options. One thing for me definitely is to productize my services,
Okay.
because I have so many so many contacts. I can't handle them one by one already, and I'm working right now with the Lockers First Academy.
Right.
This is a cohort-based educational series about parcel lockers. I did already first pilot in Australia
Okay.
for that, and I am going to launch it soon.
So you're educating this next generation of talent that are coming into the industry around
Exactly,
lockers and last
exactly.
mile.
Because again,
home.
and you are in recruiting, and probably you have seen also that the need for parcel locker experience is growing, and even me, who is not in recruiting,
You see
I
it.
got weekly requests that can you help me somehow to fill this position. Because again, there are a lot of people, and people are right now quite open for moving.
Yes.
So people from Baltics who has got experience, first-hand experience for years, are willing to relocate to other markets. But you have to know that, or you have to be
have the network.
you have to
and
network
yeah,
there.
definitely.
So though this is something that I will definitely keep up. Is growing my community, because
Yes.
I really want to be the voice of lockers, and share the passion.
Yeah, I can see that because you've got your own podcast and I see that you're really prevalent at events and people do look up to you because they are thinking, well, actually, he has got a wealth of knowledge in this. He saw something was happening. He got there pretty quickly, and even when things were probably pretty tough for you, you kept going. You kept believing that this was going to work. So I think that's exciting, definitely with the academy, because when we're recruiting for locker businesses now and networks, they are really only having a choice of people that have come from within the logistics sector, so they understand the freight forwarding and the supply chain, or they've come from within Parcel Mail Express, so they understand, you know, domestic or international cross-border e-com distribution. But it is very different to selling locker space, isn't it?
It is absolutely, and that's why exactly I'm doing this academy to give the sort of the basic training, that there is no education available for the lockers, and this is definitely needed. And we are living in the sort of social media era, and we people who are experienced, they have to share it. And
Yes.
I think one of the best examples is this exact podcast. I'm a guest now because I think what you are doing also is sort of sharing this industry knowledge through different guests and best practices, and this is so important. And again, I so envy this format you are having here.
Aww.
This is one of the best setups and formats.
Oh, thank you, Andre. I'll pay you later. But no, it is. I mean, this is obviously new. This is a new sort of baby of mine, should we say, because we're 5 or 6 months old. But the guests that are approaching and saying, Nicky, can we come on? We're really interested to get involved. Can we talk about this? Can we talk about that? We want to share this. And I think it comes down to this whole sort of collaboration piece that we've discussed before, and those barriers to entry being down. Because historically, if you'd set this company up and you were super successful, and then some companies 5, 6, 7, 8 years later started jumping on the bandwagon, you'd probably want to retain that information for yourself. But you're not being greedy. You're saying, well, actually, there's more than enough to go around. Let's make this a really good solution for last mile and out of home. Let's educate people. Let's make sure that it is a choice and a good choice for the consumer. But it also helps a retailer, doesn't it? You know, because we say about the consumer wanting choice, which is great, but retailers also want choice as your customer, don't they? In terms of what's going to be best for them and what could help increase their margins.
This is exactly the problem, and I'm addressing it already next week in Amsterdam. I'm speaking there in Deliver event,
amazing.
And especially for retailers.
Yes.
What are the retailers' options? How do they need to approach the out of home sort of trend? What they need to do, because in a sense that. Yes, they are not responsible for the delivery, or they cannot build their own network. Although some of them are building. IKEA is building their own locker network. Decathlon is building lockers with Parcel to their stores. But again, this is still click and collect. This is not for that. But they have to have stand on that. They have to have vision how to build, integrate that into their checkout sort of design, user experience. Exactly. So there's not only the carriers need education, there is also the retailers.
Exactly,
and this is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. And do you think are they asking more questions around it now? Are they more open to trying to create a solution and actually be educated more around it?
A little bit, step by step.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been this kind of FedEx and InPost moment yet.
Definitely,
but definitely the interest is growing, and the questions and the approaches are more serious. But again, there are companies who are very serious and very knowledgeable about lockers. Again, just like IKEA as one good example, and they are doing oversized lockers. This is not the the mainstream lockers. We know them. They are installing the very big lockers into their shops.
It's an interesting time. It's going to be interesting what happens in this industry in the next sort of even 12 months, because it's moving at such pace, isn't it? There's so much innovation happening. New technologies coming out, AI, as we've touched on, different sort of operational efficiencies, the dynamic pricing that we've all been talking about, this now from a sort of last mile perspective. What, in your opinion, do you think brought InPost and FedEx together? Why do you think that happened so quickly?
I think that there is one big misconception about that deal. Everybody is talking about that this is about Europe.
Yes.
This is about how FedEx sort of tries to strengthen their European presence with out-of-home services.
Do you think that's the general consensus? Is that what people
think? It seems
think?
to be, but I think this is the opposite, actually. I think the initiative for that deal came from InPost side, and the target for that deal is the United States.
Yes.
Again, this is a market. This is a holy land. The biggest volumes of delivers and parcels are there. And if this country, and also two neighboring countries that are very big are waking up for lockers, then this is going to be big, and this is going to be fast because they are well capitalized companies. The big four there: FedEx, UPS, USPS, and also Amazon.
Yes.
From a little bit different angle, but and if one of them makes their move, then all others will follow.
Yes, yeah, I think so. So it'll be interesting then what new partnerships, if this does actually prove to be that it gets signed and it happens, it'll be interesting to see who else tries to partner, won't it?
There is one more card in the play, and this is the second-hand market and vintage-like companies, because vintage is really booming right now in Europe. And again, consider that vintage is still country by country based. They are not pan-European, so you can sell your stuff only within your country. Now, if vintage is already in US, they
I've been sending and receiving from the US with vintage. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And it was one of my clients that delivered it. I sent a picture and I was like, you've just delivered my US parcel.
So this is definitely one category of deliveries that can change the market, because second-hand incentivizes customers.
Yes.
And customers will start behaving differently if this opportunity arises. So this is one thing I'm looking very passionately how or whether this might be the trigger for lockers in US.
I think so, possibly, because then you've not just got vintage, you've got eBay, you've got other marketplaces, haven't you? So, I like to get your thoughts, because I know that you talk to lots of people, so it's good to get a little bit of insight from you, because the conversations that you're having are sort of board level, contacts, aren't they? So it's interesting when, even if you're just informally chatting, just to see what people's take is on what's actually going on in this industry at the minute.
It is very different, and to share the alpha with you also, maybe that a lot of new contacts are coming from Africa. The African countries are also sort of because again, we don't know much of. I haven't been there, so again, I don't know. But I know about them and the technology state. What they did, they have sort of skipped personal computers and switched to mobile use, and this is very developed there. And mobile is a best friend of parcel locker.
Yes.
So this is very logical to jump there. There are already in South African Republic, there is very fast growing the courier guys company, and there are much more initiatives and more interest towards lockers from Africa. Not talking about LATAM region. I'm going to have probably very big project there soon.
How exciting. You're just dropping something new on my podcast, Andre. That's exciting to know. And did they approach you?
Yes.
Right, okay.
I would have, how else I could have been getting
so they've seen something on your socials or your LinkedIn.
This is LinkedIn. This is when we're talking about logistics. This is only LinkedIn. There is no X. There is no Facebook. There is no Instagram.
Purely businesses.
This is only LinkedIn where you have to be, and I'm so disappointed that many of the companies don't take still Instagram seriously, because again they have to understand that now they are in business to consumer market, and
Instagram or LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Oh, LinkedIn. Yes, sorry, you said Instagram.
Okay, sorry,
I was thinking Andre.
Sorry, my bad.
No,
I was
LinkedIn,
thinking,
it's a very powerful tool.
It is.
To reach people anywhere in the world.
It is.
At any level. You know,
It
why
is.
would you not? And if they are serious and there's an outreach, you know, you starting a conversation pretty quickly.
Absolutely. My direct message is very active, and one thing that is interesting talking about the LinkedIn is that that we are the logistics industry is let's say this is not very young people working there. This is, let's say,
Seasoned professionals.
very nicely put it. Thank you. And that's why you don't see like liking and sharing culture in LinkedIn. So you can write content and
Yes.
and you will not get any feedback back. But then when I got then direct mail messages, and
Yes.
usually they start that I follow you constantly.
Yes.
I've read all of your posts. I don't know anything about. He hasn't liked my post. He hasn't. I don't know.
But you never know who's watching.
Exactly.
And you
exactly,
never, and I say this
exactly.
to my
so,
team.
So I've skipped already the vanity metrics like.
Oh, yes. Don't worry
likes
who's
and,
liking,
likes
sharing,
and shares,
commenting.
for
It's what's landing in your inbox, isn't
Exactly.
it? Because he or she's probably watched your feed for maybe 6, 12, 18 months. I have it myself. One guy for 3 years. I was like, that's a bit creepy. And he started laughing. He went, no, Nicky, honestly, we were in a partnership with somebody. I've been watching what you're doing. I really like the vibe of it. And, you know, that partnership's come to an end and I want to meet with you. So you just never know. And that's why I try not to put any negativity out there. I like to be positive. Because if you can't
Absolutely.
say something nice, don't say anything at all, really.
It is. It is.
I think so. Well, it got you as well. You liked was it one of my videos? Was it the podcast video? Or did somebody introduce us? I can't remember. It was something
me
on
too,
LinkedIn, wasn't it?
This is exactly the point. We don't even recall what was the initial contact, but this was internet.
Yes.
This was LinkedIn.
Yes,
The only
definitely.
thing that
And I like what you
connected
were
us.
doing. There was potential for sort of partnership and collaboration. You were doing podcasts too, and obviously had a wealth of knowledge. So selfishly, I thought I could learn from you about the lockers in the last mile. And then it naturally progressed that we were like, well, come on the show.
This is one thing I've learned, that in order to be interesting for others, you have to be interested in the subject. You have
Yes.
to be curious.
Yes.
Curiosity is the thing that drives growth, and I am curious. I really, again, I don't do those podcasts not just to have another video. I want to learn
Yes.
from the guests and to understand what they are doing. And if we are having this discussion, why not to record it? So
Yes.
this is my logic. So I don't have this kind of high-end production like you are having here, but still I'm counting on the sort of the content.
Yes, it's the content. It doesn't matter where we are or how we do it. People want to engage with what you're saying as a professional and to hear from other industry professionals.
And the other thing that I have to stress it still, many people don't understand it, is that when you are doing a video, then even few years ago it stayed as a video,
Yes.
and that's it. Now you can have transcription of that video, and if you have 100 transcriptions of the videos,
Yeah.
then you have a knowledge base.
Yes.
So doing this kind of videos is not only sharing the immediate knowledge, but
It's helping you
also
learn, isn't it?
also making this aggregate in the background. And I don't know how I will use it in
No.
5 years' time, but definitely this is some
Yes.
kind of value I can use
think
when
so.
it's needed.
Well, we learn something from everybody, don't we? So I think if you're even engaging with new customers or partners or whoever it may be, you'll think back to one of them conversations and think, oh, let me just check the transcript from that conversation with XYZ. And then it opens up a whole other area of discussion, doesn't it?
Absolutely. But can I ask you also, what is your goal with that podcast? So how far you are willing to go with that?
With my podcast?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Well, Andre, you just put me on the spot now. This isn't part of our brief. I think this was born initially from, obviously, I'm very curious about the industry. I've recruited for 24 years in the logistics sector in the UK, Europe, US, Dubai, Singapore, and most recently China. So I've seen lots of trends, lots of changes that happen, and the industry's really evolved from not only it being seen as quite a tired, outdated industry. We didn't have many women and females coming into the logistics sector. So that's changed over the past sort of 8, 9, 10 years. But I think also it was my clients that were saying, you should do a podcast. You do your videos on LinkedIn. I know I don't want to do a podcast. They're like, but why not? All of your contacts, all of your partners, all of the relationships that you've had over the last 24 years, you like doing video, you interview every day, why would you not share that knowledge? And I thought, do you know what? You're absolutely right. So then back end of last year, I thought, gosh, what if nobody wants to come on my podcast? And literally I spoke to 2 or 3 people that I know straight off the bat, and they were like, without a doubt, we would love to be one of the first 2 or 3 on the podcast. I had good relationships with them because I didn't know how it was actually going to flow or go. But yeah, touch wood, they seem to be being quite well received, and we're getting people actually 4, 5, 6 clients, which might not seem a lot, but for a young podcast, those companies are reaching out to us every week and saying, Nicky, can our CEO be on your show? Can our MD come on your show? We're a startup tech business. We're focused on XYZ. Can we come on your show and talk about it? So it's organically grown, but it is growing a little bit at pace because I have got a day-to-day job to do as well.
It is indeed, but you are really doing a good job, and you have to keep up doing that.
It's the momentum with everything, isn't it?
2 or 3 years, and then this is going to be routine, and this is going to be driving yourself, so you are not pushing it anymore.
Yeah,
so.
I think so. Well, we've already been approached around some sort of collaborations. We've got some clients that want to look to sort of sponsor us, so we're doing something right. I've just, like I say, I don't feel this is work, because I like to chat, I like to learn, I like to sort of engage with people, so the time just flies for me, really. But what made you do it? Was it for you the same, the learning and the engagement piece? And that sharing of knowledge.
This is probably one of that, but I sort of felt also that there is nobody sharing this knowledge, and if you are alone, not incorporated with big companies, then this is a logical sort of step.
Yes.
Start doing that
so.
and being curious.
Well, I think we can be curious together. There might be some things we could look to do together to sort of help each other and just get the message out more so to the audience and to, people that are maybe looking to start a career in logistics. It has evolved a lot over the last few years.
Indeed, and one thing that you mentioned already, and I think that is a big gap we have to fill, and this is the male dominance in logistics, because this is really sort of I can't even find the right word when you are in logistics conferences, then this is 75%
small percentage of women. It's getting better. And there's more women in much more senior sort of operating board and board status roles at the moment, which I've noticed probably over the last 5 or 6 years, which is great. That's in transport, pallets, freight forwarding and supply chain, e-com distribution. But also there's a lot of women that I've spoke to over the years that have come out of the industry. And they've gone into another service-based business. They've gone into packaging, or they've gone into SaaS sales, or they've just gone to sell another service because they they didn't really like the environment and the culture that, you know, they call it the all boys club. You know, that was historically how the logistics sector was perceived to be. But I think it is much more sort of diverse now, and people are really making conscious efforts to promote organically from within. Everyone's got equal opportunities. You know, there's more women that are seeing this is a little bit sexier and sassier than it was before. There's lots of innovation and that cross-border solution piece. So it is changing, but it is slow.
Logistics has been male-dominated because the industry is very competitive, almost aggressive,
Yes.
because the competition is fierce in different countries, and it's very competitive. So this is the male characteristics, and that's why probably women are not so much involved. But we need that, and especially right now in parcel lockers, because there are two ways to operate locker. One is carrier-specific locker, when carrier built their own network, just like InPost or Royal Mail.
Yes.
And then there are agnostic networks that are open, whether to everybody or to a certain number of companies. And it means some kind of collaboration. And for me, this actually needs female touch, exactly, to agree on, because men usually start fighting and competing instead of collaborating. So, but we have still already good examples. We have Parcel Painting Quadrant, that is open network here. Yip is open network here. We have MyFlexbox in Germany and in Austria, and maybe the latest that actually is, for my big surprise, the joint project of GLS and DPD in Germany.
Yes.
They are having this inbox. Did I say it right? Inbox. Yes, not inbox. Inbox network. So very big competitors from different origins are collaborating. So this is a very, very promising sign that the industry can collaborate. So back to my home region, to Estonia right now, there are 7 competitive closed networks, and one is an agnostic network. And the competition is very high. The prices has been gone very down. The margins are shrinking. So this is a customer's market. Customers are winning for that. But now Latvian Post has been deciding also to come to the Estonian and Lithuanian market with their lockers. So again, there is no collaboration, and then this is not sustainable way to make the business. It means that somebody has to go out of business, because this is not sustainable. Although lockers as such are more sustainable delivery method than every other, but this kind of competition and putting hardware besides each other, this is not the way to handle it.
No, I hear you. You've thrown me, because you started interviewing me, you've thrown me off my train of thought. I think what I'd like to know actually is if you took inspiration from anyone when you were building this business and deciding to go on your own with Parcel Locker Central.
No, not especially, but I have some logics or frameworks that I've been using, or samples even. So I'm old enough to remember that when mobile phones came, then the user interface design switched from computers to mobiles, and they call it mobile first.
Yes.
So it was usually PC that was designed first, and then it was ported to mobiles, and then the trend was mobile first. So I created a term like lockers first.
Yes.
This is the same analogy. I think that when you start delivery company right now, you have to start with lockers now. This is not 2010 anymore. So I've built everything around this lockers first. So the thinking, this is, as I said, those are the mega trends like demographics and
Yes.
customer behavior change. And this is the example from this mobile phones, mobile first, and this is not new for me. So those changes has been going on in
Yes.
in different industries. We
So
can
you've
also
been party to that,
we
and
can
you've
also
seen things evolve.
we can also think about when mobile operators started. Then everybody started to build their own towers,
Yes.
and in some day they started to collaborate and start to share the towers. And now, as I know, in Europe there are 3 major holders of the network. So
Yes.
so this has been in some moment. This is your competitive edge to do something by yourself, but you have to change the horses during the way.
Yes.
And to start collaborating and start thinking what is your real competitive edge.
Yes.
And it can't be only the locker on the corner of the street. It has to be something else.
Yes. So what would you say your USP is?
I think this is exactly the network and the international knowledge, because
Yes.
I've been visiting almost all European countries.
You travel a lot, don't you?
Yes, and this is, I really like that.
Yes.
I've been talking to much more people. I have gathered experience, and I think this is quite unique, because usually when you are doing your logistics operation, then this is a local thing, and there is not so much touch points with your peers in other countries.
Definitely.
So this is my everyday job, and that's why I think that this is my age.
Always learning, always learning. But I think that's really interesting because, like you said prior, different countries have a different idea of what last mile looks like and what that means to them. So when you're traveling extensively around Europe and rest of world and you're getting people's thoughts around it, it's quite interesting data, that, isn't it?
It is. And I've seen samples and different approaches from different countries. I was recently visiting Hungary, the Budapest, and there were now in some European countries, some carriers are starting to put indoors lockers. They are doing like parcel shops, like Bpost
Right,
and Inpost
yes.
is doing also here some instances. But there were many parcel shops where there were competitive lockers were all in the same room.
Yes.
So this is totally different approach. Somehow has managed to attract all the lockers indoors to.
Well, I see this on train station platforms now. There'll be 4 or 5 different carriers that are labelled on the lockers. So what are the networks doing? Are they just having to give a proportion of the lockers to each carrier then to make it a level playing field?
Exactly. This is the agnostic network approach.
Right.
So the MyFlex box is probably the most advanced example in Europe with that, because they have collaborations with Austrian Post, with DPD, so that they install a locker with 150 compartments, quite a big locker.
Yes.
And then they paint half of that to Austrian Post yellow colors, and they will exclusively use this part of the locker. So this is exactly the sharing, the sharing capacity. It makes the locker more sustainable and more profitable.
Yes. And more attractive, because as you said prior, customers do have loyalty. It might waver if they're thinking they're going to save £2 or £3 or £4 per delivery, depending on how the item's going to get to them. But if they see one of their favourite carriers, they'll choose that probably over another, won't they? If it's on that box.
Absolutely.
You know, they say, well, we're going anyway, but we prefer this company over that company, so we'll choose that option, you know. But this is all like what you said prior. It is all about choices.
It is, but there's one thing we have to be also careful with, and this is not over exploiting the lockers, because there are some some cities already having problems that there are so much of them, or they are not arranged in a aesthetical way. So this is
Yes.
maybe the best sample for that is Prague, that has to put very strict regulations for the lockers, because again, if there is too much lockers, then this is starting to also
It's not aesthetically
distract.
pleasing either, is it? In some cases, if it's, you know,
Exactly.
on every street corner.
Exactly.
But what about the security? I mean, as you know, I live in Harrogate, so it's quite a safe area of the UK. Are these parcels, are these lockers networks getting broken into? Are they easy to break into? How secure are they?
And they are usually very secure, and this is what we see, at least in Europe. This is not the case actually. In Europe, lockers are providing security, because there is one when we are going back to home delivery, there is a term called porch piracy.
Yes.
So in countries where the home delivery is sort of well developed, there are also methods that you can leave the parcel to the front door unattended.
Yes.
And if the criminal situation is bad in that area, then and this is especially problem in US actually right now,
Right.
not in other countries. But locker provides security. But there are also some countries where the street crime is very heavy. And
that's what I was
we can
thinking, yeah.
talk about the Latin period, like and also some African countries. And this is not, but then there is not also, the case is not that the criminals are breaking into the lockers, because lockers are durable metal products. But the people who are withdrawing the parcels can be attacked.
Really?
So they are monitored, and then they will be followed and
So
and
that's
robbed.
why there's all the cameras, obviously.
Exactly.
On the...
But again, in Western Hemisphere, usually lockers are providing security,
Yes.
and this is not sort of
something to be worrying about.
exactly.
No. Well, many people are adopting them, so it's only sort of come up maybe a handful of times where people have said, look, are they easy to break into? You know, it's a metal box. Could, you know, because I think there's been more so in London, there's quite a lot of graffitiing of them, and it, you know, I can't stand it. It's like, just respect people's like property and possessions, but not everybody feels the same, do they?
Yeah, but don't only think that the breaking in to the locker is the only way to abuse lockers. In my practice, lockers are technology. There are computers
Yes.
inside, and computers can be hacked. Computers
Yes,
can
well,
be,
that's the other
computers
thing I was
can
going to
be
say.
sort of having problems. From my own experience, and this is quite a scary story. When working in Omniva, in one morning, we started to get customer calls to our call center saying that I got the message, SMS from you that I have a parcel, but I haven't ordered anything. Okay, one call, second call. After 10 calls like
So you
that,
knew it
we
had been
started
hacked.
that there's something going on. And then we started to look for that. We figured out that our telecom provider, who is sending out SMSs,
Yes.
made their software upgrade the other day before that.
Right.
And it appeared that that morning they sent 40,000 SMSs with notifications for parcels to totally random numbers. Totally random numbers.
Oh my gosh.
But it get worse, because it was so bad situation that they didn't have even log file to whom they sent it. So they sent it to somewhere, and they didn't have any understanding
shocking.
to whom they. So we had a situation that we had 40,000 compartments in 3 countries wide open. So we definitely have had our risk assessments
Yes.
before what could be happen.
Yes.
But this kind of story, nobody,
No.
human brain doesn't figure this kind of situation out. So you have to be prepared if you are dealing with the technology, you
The
have
tech,
to be
yeah.
prepared for this kind of circumstances, and you have to have a backup plan for that.
So what did you do in that situation?
We closed the network.
Yeah.
We closed the network and started figuring out. It got much worse because
Yeah.
half of the network we couldn't close
I was gonna
because there
say,
was
there
a
are
partner. There
parcels
was a
in there,
parcel
yeah.
partner operating that one. But yeah, from that moment on, I know that whatever you are doing with the lockers, you have to have one red button that closes the network, because that might be different things that can be altering the normal procedure. You
But
have
that
to
you can literally manually override.
exactly.
Yeah.
You have to have that red button to close it immediately and start investigating.
Emergency shutdown.
Because
But we only learn from experience, don't we?
it is, and this is also one value I think I can provide to my customers. Because I have a lot of stories.
Well, and you have first-hand experience.
Yes.
You know, some of the things that they might be trying to do, you might have been there, done it, made some mistakes along the way, know how they can shortcut where they want to get to, because, you know, you've walked in their shoes. So it's valuable to have someone like you on board with them.
I hope so.
You know so. You know so. Well, we have covered a lot, Andre, and we are sort of coming to the end of the podcast. Do you think there's anything outside of what we've discussed that you would like the audience to know about yourself, about Parcel Locker Central, about the academy that you're looking to be building?
Do we have another hour?
No, we do not.
Okay, in that case I'm fine, because again, everybody can find me on LinkedIn and follow.
Well, that's what I was saying.
everything
You've got
from there,
so much to share, and we have literally just scratched the surface with this, haven't we? You know, we could even do podcast 2 with Andre V, based on, you know, the amount of information that I think from your experience would really help the audience. But if I put your personal details on the podcast when it goes live, are you happy for me to do that? And then people, if there's anything sort of really prevalent, they can just reach out direct and have some more of your time?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just don't know whether I can afford that.
What do you mean? I won't charge you for that. You've come all the way from Estonia. You're a guest on my podcast, and obviously, you know, everyone's got to help each other. So I'm more than happy to put all your contact details on, and they can reach out direct.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But I think that we will follow up this discussion after the mics are closed about recruiting, because I think this is also recruiting in last mile is something that needs improvement and new solutions. So let's have a discussion.
That would be good. Well, before I let you go, I must ask the quick fire round though, Andre, because the audience do love it. So are you happy for me to run through these questions? You look really anxious.
Yes, now I'm scared. Actually, the first time I'm scared. I don't know.
You've been quite fine for the last hour. Well, there's nothing too crazy. Just to, you know, get a little bit more insight into you and your personality. So morning person or night owl?
This is easy. Morning person.
Yeah. Most used emoji?
Smile.
Oh, you like the smiley one. One food you could eat every day?
There isn't. My sort of personality is I want to taste different foods. So in a sense, in case I can't be so stubborn.
No, understood. Dogs or cats?
Don't know.
You happy? Do you like animals?
In a distant.
In a distant. Have you got a favourite holiday destination?
I'm usually spending a lot of time in my summer house, so this is my way to...
Where is that?
This is 50 kilometers from where I live in Estonia.
Oh, how lovely.
No.
So you're not having... Well, because you travel so much with work, it's a luxury probably to be close to home, isn't
I don't... Again, going to the plane is related to work with me, not
exactly, not
to
relaxing.
Holiday.
No, that makes sense. What makes you smile?
Good joke. I like joking.
Good
I like
humour.
jokes. Yeah, humor,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, very good. Is there a guilty pleasure you are willing to admit on air?
No, I haven't. I haven't got so far
Is
yet.
that to take off air? Is that after the show?
Yeah, probably.
What advice do you think you would give your younger self?
Do the same what you have. I have done, and more aggressively and more passionately.
Yeah, you think?
I don't regret anything in a sense that I think
No.
I've done and maybe experience different industries, because right now I feel the support from the different experiences I have gathered.
Yes.
So if you are one industry only, then probably this is not so interesting and not so
So maybe
fun.
diversify a
Yeah.
little bit earlier, possibly. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Is there anyone, as you've been sort of carving out your career over the years, anybody that you had as a mentor, anyone that you took sort of guidance from?
I gave a lot of respect right now to Christian Östergaard.
Oh, I love him from Post Nord.
Exactly. So I think he is one of the most sophisticated and really hands-on person in the industry,
Yeah.
and really appreciate every time talking to him.
Yeah, so you can, yeah, you two, I could imagine, have some very interesting conversations. What do you love about lockers?
There is a joke why Estonians are so fond with lockers, and the reason for that is that Estonians are so introverted person that they don't like to talk to people.
So they can just drop it
Exactly.
off and not engage.
It's a joke, but there is some truth inside that. In a sense that if somebody tells me that the home delivery has to be experience, meeting with the courier and chit-chatting
Yes.
with him is the thing to appreciate, I don't see any this is a parcel delivery. I'm
Yes.
sorry, this is not like performance or anything. This is the thing you have to do
Yes.
quickly and effectively, and this is how I approach that.
Yes.
And I think this is exactly what lockers are providing.
No, that makes sense. And the last question before I let you go, is there a film, a podcast, or a book that's really inspired you?
Now I can make a fool of myself. There are two movies, and totally different ones, and even one of them I don't know how to explain. The first
Okay.
is Pretty Woman.
Oh, yes.
I don't know, but I've seen that movie tens of times, and I don't get bored of that. Maybe this kind of sort of Cinderella story and happy end is something
Oh, you're
that
a big softie at heart. You like the love story.
But the
Andre.
other movie is totally opposite on that, and this is Darkest Hour, about Winston Churchill during the Second World War and the decisions he has had to make during that time. So every leader who thinks he has overworked and he has problems, take a look at that movie. What kind of decisions and what this man had to
And the impact those decisions make.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as you see, totally different genres and emotions.
Very different, depending what mood you're in. Very different ends of the spectrum. Oh, well, I've really enjoyed chatting to you, Andre. Have you enjoyed being here?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely. Really appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, you're very welcome. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Nicky.
Thank you,
That's been
Andre.
a pleasure.
Thank you.